So let me continue, right? So the reason why we want to score this is because we want to evaluate our organization, very objectively to see which is the area that we need to fix. Do we need to use the scarce resources that we have to fix the external factors or to fix the internal factors, right? This is actually the decision that we need to make here, right? So in this simple example that I simply create, right? So it is 3.55 on the externals versus the 2.5, right? It means that, our strategy is later. We should work on the external factor, right? We should spend more resources to work on the external factors, right? So next, you have listed all the factors and you have given the score, right? So, but at the same time, you got to tell yourself, right? Why do I choose that factors and put into the strength? Why do I choose the factors and put into the weakness and put into opportunities and put into threat, right? So why, right? So you got to find back all your internal all your CPM, all your pests and the Portfolio forces model, the facts finding that you have previously, you got to then put into a table, right? A journal that you have to keep, right? To help to support. Why do you put this into the SWOT analysis, right? So you got to give all the reason. Why do we need to do that? Very important, because people will challenge you on your strategy analysis, right? So why do you choose this factor? Why do you choose that? And things like that. So you got to be able to answer it very objectively, because I have found out this fact 1, 2, 3, 4. I have found out this fact 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? That's why these factors is what I have chosen. Right? So you got to be very prepared. If you are coming out, just out of the blue thing or something, right there. When people ask you questions like this, most of the time you are not able to answer anything at all, right? Because it's just out of the blue that you think of something, right? You've been creative to give an idea or suggestion, right? But strategy analysis cannot survive in this mode, right? Strategy analysis means that we need to analyze, right? We need to give supports of the facts, right? We need to have the same confidence that these things will work, right? Not just a trial and error. Okay, next, I am going to show you how you are going to do this. You have the strength, weakness, analysis, opportunity, and threats. So right now we got to put into what we call a Thomos matrix, right? So you can see the Thomos matrix is actually the reverse of the SWOT, right? So what we are doing here is actually, we are going to do strategy plan development, right? So we know what factors is important for us, what factors is not important for us just now, right? So we got to put this into this Thomos matrix and create a plan that is addressing both strength and opportunities, right? So strength and opportunity, we are going to create a plan that will maximizing the strength to maximize our opportunities, right? And then for the weakness and opportunity, right? So we want to see how we can minimize our weakness to maximize our opportunities, right? And then we want to create something on the threat and the strength, right? So we want to maximize our strength, right? To minimize our threats, right? And then the same things is number 4, right? Is to create action plans that will minimize our weakness and minimize our threat, right? So how do we actually convert the weakness to minimize the threats, right? So this is what you are going to do. This is the action plan that you are going to develop and put it into this Thomos matrix, right? So when you complete this analysis, which I'm going to share in the next slides, right? So you are actually coming up with a set of strategies of the organizations, right? So avoid giving solutions or action plan in this juncture, right? But the next slide will tell you what you need to do. Okay. Okay. So based on those things that you have developed, you have to create this action plan like this, right? So this is S1 is strategy 1, opportunity 1, right? So this is the action plan. So your action plan is to maximize the high value product in selected development countries and assisted by the wave of globalizations, right? So your means so the strategy developments, we are actually creating the action plan first, and then we want what strategy is market development. For this strategy is market penetration. For these strategies is a cost leadership. For these strategies is technology. Right, so all our action plans items that we have, right? We are actually going to name the strategy against it. So we did the strategy action plan first before we create the strategy. Important because a lot of time we come out from the meeting on developing our corporate strategy very happily, and then no action plan, no follow-up activities. We keep forgetting, right? The person who jot down all the meeting minutes did not. All these are problem and pitfall in developing your company strategies, right? But balance scorecard will help us to make sure that we keep track of what and what we are going to keep ourselves checked against, right? So in the plans that we develop, so we will name the strategies, we name the action plan. Just now we will call the primary responsibility person, who is it, right? So we will put down what is the budget that we have given to this item before, what is our new budget one give, and then actual spending that they have, variance. So this item, this is the logbook, right? Balance scorecard is the logbook, is a journal that you're going to keep, and you keep checking yourself against this, right? And you have to keep making sure that you are executing to the strategy, right, based on this balance scorecard, right? So this is something that every time in your departmental meetings, when the strategy action plan being passed down, this is where you're going to check against, right, whether you're executing to what is needed. And then finally, we are looking at the terminal SWOT, right? So after 3 months, after you're executing your action plans and things like that, right? So you're going to create a terminal SWOT to review, because the SWOT analysis, just now remember, is your strength, weakness, opportunity, and threat. And you are supposed to develop the action plan that maximizing your strength, maximizing your opportunity, maximizing your strengths to minimize your weakness, maximizing your strengths, right, to minimize the threat, and minimizing both threats and weakness, right? So after you execute your action plan for 3 months or 6 months or so, you got to come back and check whether there is any improvement in your strength, in your weakness, in your opportunity, in your threat, right? So you got to check against the action plan, right? You have executed action 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and does it move the needles for my business, right? Does it improve my strength? Does it eliminate certain weaknesses, right? Does it actually dealt with all the threats that I have, right? Does it maximizing my opportunity? You got to do this check every 3 months, 6 months, depending on your own schedules, right? And this is where you want to check and tell yourself the strategy is working or not working, right? If the strategy is not working, this is where you're going to get rid of the action plans, right? And then you're going to come up with a new action plan, new strategies, right? So you're using this to prepare a new implementation plan, and every 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, depending on your schedule, right? So you're going to check against what you have, right? So this is how we are actually, carefully preparing our strategy, right? Developing our strategies for the organizations, right? It is not, like, having a magic hands, just twist your finger and then you will get something out. That's the wrong strategy, right? And I want to reiterate again, there is a right and wrong strategy, right? So if you are going to do or develop a right strategy for organizations, these are the steps that you have to go through, right? It's not plucked from the air, it's not based on brainstorming of a few person, then you get, action plan out of it. You can check against many facts. Every time you did something, one conclusion, you can check against, many facts that you have collected. So, right. So to do a proper analysis to support your strategy for your organizations, right? So this is, the end for this presentation today. And like I say, I just wanted to give you an overview on how you're going to make use of all these tools, right? So that you will be paying attention, right, to the class later. When your lecturers are talking about this item, you know that this is very important for you, right? And you got to really thoroughly understand it, how to use the tools, how to use the techniques, how to use, the methodologies, right, to create the strategies for your organizations, right? And with that, I end today's sharing, and back to you, Prof.
Yes, Doctor. Thank you so much for the good session. I think within like 45 minutes to 50 minutes, you have covered enough of the things, the tools. I think you have covered SWOT analysis, Thomos matrix, balance scorecard, a lot of tools, I think, which people will understand. Strategy is not mere just imaginary or creative thing, what you have mentioned earlier. It is about putting analysis in place, in practice. That's very important. Everything is fact-finding, analysis, and continuous monitoring and amending, those, how it's moving forward and so on. That's really in a nutshell, you make them understand. And I'm really, really grateful to you, Doctor, for your presence and for your presentation and for the insights you have shared. More than that, your time, valuable time, you spare for us, for ASBM Adithya School of Business Management. Thank you so much, Doctor. Have a great evening and great weekend.
No problem. Yes, thank you.
We'll catch up in another session, another occasion. Thank you so much.
Sure.
Thanks a lot.
Sure. Yeah, it's always great to catch up with you again.
Thank you so much, Doctor. Thank you.
Thank you.
My gratitude to you once again.
No problem. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.